Cheers.
Ching.
Happy 10th episode, everyone. This is unbelievable. 10 episodes in a row. 10 weeks.
I can still count that on my fingers.
But it is double digits.
Yeah, that's true. I remember when I first turned 10, and my grandmother was like, wow, double digits. And that's all I can remember from my 10th birthday.
Well, hopefully this podcast is slightly more memorable than that.
Yes. Oh, 100%.
But welcome, everyone, to a podcast now, episode 10. I'm Lachlan Rodwell, and I'm joined by someone whose father was murdered in front of him by a man who he spun a wheel that was rigged to always land on murder. And that is
like the huge wheel.
There's a huge wheel.
And they go, all right, have a roll. And you fucking...
Yes.
And they go... And it'd take like fucking years. Like I'd just be sitting there with a gun to my head like, oh. And then it'd give me fucking...
And that's how you ended up with the name Wheel.
The Price is Right.
Yes. But no, this is of course Lucas Boreham again every week. What are we doing this week, Lucas?
So this week we are looking at Snake Eyes, the G.I. Joe origin story of the character in, I think how many G.I. Joes did they make? They made
2.
3.
No, right? I think 2.
Okay, yeah, 2.
Because there was the one with Channing Tatum, and then there was the one where Channing Tatum died in the first 5 minutes and was replaced by The Rock.
Yes, that's right. I remember we saw that in cinemas. Yeah, no. And then, so Snake Eyes is in both of them. He was really sick, I remember, in the first
Great
one.
character design.
Awesome.
And
loved him to bits.
His defining quality is that he took a vow of silence, yet in this movie, Snake Eyes, he talks the entire time. So...
There's no link there.
No.
There's no, how did he become, how did he become this vow of silence? It's more like, oh, this is just him before, and there's no link.
It's not even it's not even an origin story for the Snake Eyes we saw in those original 2 movies. It's teeing up this whole, cinematic universe that they want for these characters, which, considering it's one of the worst performing movies at the box office this year, I doubt we're going to see any continuation of this universe. So that's what we're talking about this week. We'll get into it later. In addition, we're going to review the last 2 episodes of What If. We're going to come back to it and just catch up and see what's going on with them.
The last 2?
Episode 3 and 4.
Wait, is there only 4 episodes in the whole season?
No. As in the latest 2. Sorry
for the confusion. Wording wrong there. Right. You got me scared.
No, there's way more coming.
Thank God.
But before we get into all of that, we've got the news. The film news of the week. I always find we're a bit late to cover some topics just because they happen at the start of the week and we record at the end of the week. But it's okay. So... last week, there was a test screening for The Batman, which comes out March of next year, starring Robert Pattinson, directed by Matt Reeves, who directed the Planet of the Apes, the new ones, or the last 2 of those. And pretty positive. It was a 3-hour cut of the movie. It's probably going to be shorter than that when it actually hits theaters. But at least that cut of the movie was 3 hours long. And someone gave a bit of a review online on Twitter. And we're just going to react to their review. We're going to react to their reaction.
Okay. Yes.
So firstly, they say that the Batman movie is a horror movie. So that's firstly what they're saying. It's a horror movie. Ooh. Very graphic, very dark, very scary. Paul Dano, who plays the Riddler in the movie, Paul Dano is fucking crazy, so fucking scary. I loved every second.
Wow. That sounds amazing. Yes. I'm not going to lie. If it scares the people that are going to the test screening, then I want to watch it. I want to see a scary superhero movie that is dark and graphic, like they were saying, and just ruthless. I want to see the side of superheroes where they're just Like, don't give a fuck. Like, they're sick of people's shit, and they're just down to do business and kill each other, I guess. But
Yeah. Especially because, like, Batman has some of the best villains and some of the scariest villains. You could do a lot with the Riddler. I mean, Jim Carrey's performance was very defining for its own reasons, but it's not kind of what we want to see from a Riddler. We want to see a terrifying psychopathic murderer type of Riddler, and that's what we're going to get. Someone who's hyper intelligent and knows exactly what they're doing and committing just heinous murders. And we also know that DC, it's currently not afraid of doing R-rated movies. I mean, out of the last 4 DC movies that came out, 3 of them have been R-rated. All right?
Yeah.
We've had...
That's 75%.
75%.
Quick math.
No, sorry, out of the last 3, we've had 2. I think I got that wrong.
All right, 66% then.
Yes, because Joker was R-rated. Oh, no, I'm right. It was 3 out of 4. Joker was R-rated. We then got Birds of Prey, which was R-rated, but no one saw that movie. I actually think it was quite a good movie, so I'd recommend watching it, but some people don't like it. And then Wonder Woman 1984 wasn't R-rated, but then The Suicide Squad was R-rated. So we've had 3 out of 4 of the last theatrical DC movies be R-rated.
Wow.
Maybe the Batman... I mean, Joker hit over $1 billion and was R-rated, so maybe the Batman is R-rated.
It shows that... I mean, it's because we grew up with it. I feel like from, like, the people that were born in, say, 1992 to, like, 2003, 4, we kind of, like, grew up with, you know, the early Batmans, and, you know, just were grown up with, you know, Batman. Everyone knows who Batman is. Everyone knows who the Joker is, and the Riddler and the Penguin and Two-Face.
Exactly.
You know, so they love seeing these reincarnations because it's just like so. I don't know. It's just addicting to see. Like, oh, you know, I'm gonna see. Like, if Batman's like this, I wonder what, like, you know, the Joker's like. If
in this
is a
version,
dark,
exactly.
So it's very exciting, and I can't wait.
Yeah, so there's no confirmation whether or not it is R-rated, but based on what people have been saying, and that the first trailer for the movie as well was quite dark, I wouldn't be surprised if it was R-rated. Now, in addition as well, they say that Zoe Kravitz, who's playing Catwoman, they say that they have a million things to say about her Catwoman. She's their favorite. Holy shit, definitely my favorite Catwoman. Is what they say. Now, I don't think it's hard to be the best Catwoman, because I think Michelle Pfeiffer was great, but that's a very specific version of the character. Anne Hathaway was pretty meh. Like, she was fine. So it's good to see that at least Zoe Kravitz has done a good job there.
That's really good. Yeah, because it's strange. Like, it'd be tough, I guess. Because, like, you know, imagine if, you're an actor yourself playing a role that's established like Catwoman, but at the same time, like...
Not definitive. Like, no one's not definitive,
exactly. But yeah, that's going to be good. It's gonna... How many, like, villains and heroes do we see? Like, is Robin in it?
Right, so there's been a lot of speculation. All that's been confirmed is we have Batman, of course. We have Catwoman, and then Riddler is the main villain, but we also see the Penguin, played by Colin Farrell.
Ah, yes. See? I hope he sounds like that. I really do. And he's, like, fucking huge. And he's got... What are those? The Penguin coat, right?
Yeah,
That's
tuxedo.
what the Penguin wears. Yeah, the tuxedo. Ah, see? And he fucking has a big cigar.
Yeah.
Big cigar. Oh, like... Those as a kid, and the Lego Batman. You remember playing those?
Yeah. And he has like the bright purple umbrella.
Yeah. Amazing. Those were so good.
My favorite version of the Penguin does come from, you know, the Arkham video games. That version is he's super cockney, and he has, you know how like the Penguin has a monocle. Instead of having a monocle, he had a glass bottle shoved in his eye. So it's like a glass bottle. Like the bottom of a glass bottle, clear glass bottle over his eye as like a monocle. It looks so cool. So that's like, my favorite version. Yeah, like
Jesus Christ.
Dug into his face.
Yeah, someone just went pop.
Exactly. And anyway, so then going back to their thoughts, they also say that Robert Pattinson's Batman voice was perfect. So we've seen, so Ben Affleck's Batman voice was like robotic, they did the voice modulation or whatever to hide his identity. And then Christian Bale's voice is it's a bit funny. You know, everyone. It's easy to make fun of. It's a bit ridiculous, especially as the movies go on. It's like in the first one, it's very slight, and then by Dark Knight Rises, he's just like, "Where's the trigger?
Show me the trigger." No, I want to say though, like I remember seeing Batman Begins, and the voice was like terrifying and really good. Like I think I saw it when I was 13. But then you see it again and again, like as the years go on, and you're actually like, wow, this is ridiculous. But then again, it's Batman, and it's still a great fucking movie from Christopher Nolan. It's amazing.
So I'll just wrap up with their final thoughts. Batmobile, holy fucking shit, that fucking Slade. So if you've seen the pictures online or the trailers, it's like a muscle car looking Batmobile.
I'm typing it up right now. New Batmobile. I'm excited.
It's something that Dominic Toretto would drive.
Woo! Yeah, it's literally a 70s Charger, but I mean, this is sick. Yeah. This is insane.
So you can kind of tell like what movie they're trying to make here.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Whose idea was this? They literally stole it off like Dom Toretto's like how the Baja Charger.
The one from 7?
I think so, yeah, I can't remember. They did so many versions of the Charger.
Yeah.
It's like
and then their closing opinion is there's a scene at the end that literally had everyone screaming. Everyone gasped. Like it was a big no way for everyone. I don't give a fuck about Batman or DC, and even I clenched onto a knee and was shook. It's the biggest mic drop.
Oh, I'm so excited for this film. Wait, so when does it come out again? Next year?
March of 2022, so early next year. It was originally slated to come out in July, but then of course July of this year. But of course COVID happened and they had to delay production. Yeah, so obviously it didn't come out. It then was pushed to October of this year because apparently, it's a horror movie and there's a lot of Halloween elements apparently in it. So it would have fit Halloween. But because Warner Brothers did the simultaneous theatrical and HBO Max release, they decided to push the Batman because they didn't want to do it for the Batman. Because imagine if, like, the Batman came out to streaming. Like,
that would suck. Like, box office would... Well, obviously, we've talked about a lot, is that, you don't make as much on a streaming platform because, I mean, I guess, like, it's to do with that, it's a lot easier to pirate because obviously someone can record...
Firstly,
third-party recording software and stuff. And secondly, it's a lot more expensive to go into a cinema. And the deals with cinemas as well, like, cost a lot of money, but yeah.
Exactly. So that's the Batman. Very excited for this movie. It should be a blast. Like, honestly, if this is just a really, like, hyper-focused, specific vision, which it looks like it will be, it's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah. I'm very excited. Very, very excited. Okay, good.
So now let's move on to instead of talking about DC, we're now going to move over to Marvel. We don't pick sides here, and
we choose them.
No, we don't. We're
on both sides. We're on both sides.
Yes, we're on the fence.
We're Sweden. We're Switzerland. Sorry, not Sweden. Fuck.
I just don't want anyone to get angry at us for picking a side. We're not DC fanboys. We're not Marvel fanboys. We're both, or neither.
Yes, we are movie fanboys.
Exactly.
Idiot.
So, Marvel has been releasing weekly episodes of What If. Right, it's their animated TV show that essentially, it asks the question, what if? So it's taking events from the Marvel Cinematic Universe that you know, and just changing one slight detail, and then seeing how things play out. Now let's talk about episode 3 first. I think that's the one that we're probably most negative on.
Yes, I kind of agree. Yeah, because I feel like by the second, so well, basically, what happens for people that haven't watched it, and if you want it to be spoiled, here you go. Yeah. So it starts off around Iron Man 2, where Iron Man's got the fucking disease.
Yeah.
From
he's got the poisoning from his heart thing.
Yeah. And he's sitting in the donut, eating donuts, and gets interrogated by yours truly, Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes.
Nick Fury, sorry. And Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow comes over, gives him the stab of the thing that's supposed to cure him, and he dies. He just fucking has a seizure and dies.
Fucking dies.
He fucking... So I laughed.
The title of this episode is What If Iron Man Just Fucking Dies?
Like, he's fucking dead.
He's dead.
He didn't get to do anything. He's like, no, I love you 3000, I'm dead.
He's just
3000.
dead. And like, we don't see like a funeral, or we don't see Pepper, or we don't see anyone else.
He's just on the floor.
He's just dead.
Yeah.
And yes, so the what if this week is what if the Avengers were dead, essentially, before they even became Avengers. Yeah. And the cool part of that premise should be like what happens to the world then.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
If Loki, we see at the very end of the episode that Loki invades and conquers Earth, but then is he on the side of Thanos, or is he now going to be against Thanos, or how will that invasion happen?
We don't see what happens to Earth like during Loki's conquering, I guess. And we don't see what we want to see is like, what happens in the Avengers movie without the Avengers.
Without the Avengers.
Well, I mean, Captain America's there. Captain Marvel made an appearance.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. But at the same time, like, why didn't Nick Fury call in Captain Marvel in the first Avengers movie? Like,
because there wasn't a big enough threat, or whatever is convenient to the plot. But it's weird. This episode, I think all of the What If episodes kind of recontextualize a lot of what's happened in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and kind of it does do a good job of making you feel that the movies are more connected than they actually are. Because in a lot of ways, the movies are kind of exist in their own worlds and then come together when they need to. Whereas this episode spans Iron Man 2, The Incredible Hulk,
Thor,
and Thor, the first Thor.
Yeah.
And so it does a good job, firstly, of bringing The Incredible Hulk like really back into MCU canon. Because it's the one that it's like the runt of the litter that everyone always like forgets to include as being in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I like that they didn't forget about it, and they're like, yes, we are sticking to this. This movie is a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I did like that. And I liked how it kind of made those three movies feel more connected together, because they did occur all in the same week. Nick Fury had to deal with all of these things happening during that time. So that was cool.
Yeah. That was cool, yeah. He having, fucking drive everywhere and be like, shit, I got Iron Man dying. I have to go to this hammer that's turned up. Also, so obviously, I'm forgetting everybody's name because I haven't seen it. But, what's his name? Arrow Man?
Arrow Man? Yeah, that's his name.
Arrow Man.
His name's Arrow Man.
Arrow Man.
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye, thank God. I was thinking like something Hawk. Hawkeye shoots Thor, like accidentally, obviously.
Yeah, back when he's human, right? When he's
oh,
right.
I see.
It's been a while since you've seen the first Thor.
It's been a while.
So in the first Thor movie, Thor loses his powers because Odin says that he's not worthy of being Thor, right? So then so then he has to earn it again and go back to being Thor. So he gets shot before he becomes Thor again, and that's how he dies. And then Hawkeye dies in the cell afterwards, just randomly.
He's like...
The Hulk death is pretty cool though. So
it is.
He fucking explodes.
He gets too big. He gets too angry. He's
what if Hulk was too big?
He was just, what if he just grew? He was just too thick. Too damn thick.
Oh my God.
He was a big boy. And the army men were like, Jesus, we can't deal with this.
He's too
And he
big.
fucking
It's
explodes.
it's like the Big Chungus meme, but for Hulk.
Yeah, exactly. And then he just explodes into green goo. There's
exactly.
Body,
there's no blood because
it's just
family
goo,
friendly.
green
it's
goo.
just green
yeah.
goo. But and then Black Widow dies in a fight scene in a library or something. Anyway.
No, she's hacking.
That's right. She was hacking. Anyway, and they all die. So then the episode is really a murder mystery, right? And I think the strength of this What If TV series is that you're able to tell these self-contained stories and do whatever you want with it, right? If you wanted to tell a murder mystery in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you couldn't do it unless you have this what if scenario, right?
That's very true.
That is one of the best aspects of the show, but I think one of the worst aspects of the show is it's just too short. Having 30-minute, like, you can't tell this a great murder mystery
That's so true.
in half an hour.
Very true. Yeah.
Right? Because a part of a murder mystery is giving the audience pieces of evidence, leading them into certain directions so that they can kind of play along with the game, right? So say, for example, Knives Out, great murder mystery, right? That movie works by taking you in certain directions so you think certain things at specific points in time, and then right before the final reveal, because of how they've set up the film, the audience clicks and they figure it out like 30 seconds before the film tells you, and then you get this amazing feeling of, oh my God, I got it right. Like, yeah. But I mean, you were always designed to get it right because it gave you all the information, right? But either way, it's the magic of murder mysteries. And they just can't do it in this 30-minute long episode because they don't give us any information or any hints as to who could be doing it. They don't lead us into any directions. It's just you don't know, and then they tell you at the end who it was. And that's not... The interesting part isn't finding out who the killer is. It's trying to figure it out. So that's one of the issues, and I think that's because the episodes are too short. If they had a longer episode, they could have delved into it.
That's why, again, the Star-Lord episode was, I guess, the best because they introduced everybody in the crew, and they're like, all right, we got to do a fucking heist. So a heist is generally, all right, we've introduced the crew.
Yeah.
All right, son of a bitch, I'm in, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then they're like, all right, what's the heist? What's the thing? Get in the seeds. Sick, where is it? This place. And then obviously there's there is the double cross, of course, but there's the I meant to get captured. That was all part of the plan. Which is this is just reminding me of that Rick and Morty episode. Like it literally
it's when you bring up those comparisons, yes, they do sound very similar. And I think I think this show can learn a lot from Rick and Morty because Rick and Morty tells like a blockbuster type story within half an hour, and it goes through it the scope of the story and the way they cut it together and everything, and the story that they tell works in a 30-minute long format every time. Like every week they nail this big blockbuster type story in half an hour with still having character moments and that character development and all of that. So I think, this show just needs to have a bit more of a specific scope when doing it, because when you're asking a what if, that could spiral out into so many different avenues, right? It's endless possibilities, which is great for storytelling, but it also, if you're confined by a time limit, which you are in these episodes, then you need to make sure that you scope it well so that you can still get those blockbuster moments, but you're not overwhelmed and you're just rushing it, which I feel like this episode 3 is just a big culprit of. It's just rushing through it.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. Well,
what did you think of the reveal that it was Hank Pym and the original Ant-Man?
Well, I was kind of excited because I thought it'd be Paul Rudd, but then I was like, wait, it's too early. Like Paul's probably still in jail. And then when it was Hank, I was like, okay. So how did Hope die? I was like, did she ever work for S.H.I.E.L.D.? I couldn't remember. So in the original,
it was she essentially, right? If all of these what ifs kind of go to a specific point in time where the what if happens, right? And the what if in this one isn't what if Iron Man dies. It's actually what if Hope
dies.
Became an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the result is that she dies, right? And then this turns Hank into a psychopathic murderer because he lost his daughter, and he wants to spite S.H.I.E.L.D. essentially, and he catches wind that they're creating this Avengers team, so he goes to kill them all. But but there's a really ridiculous line in it where it's like, well, why did you kill Thor? Because he wasn't originally going to be on the team. No one knew about him at that point in time.
Yeah, that's
Why
true.
did you kill him? And he's like, oh, you would have picked him anyway. It's like, well, you don't know that yet. I mean...
Yeah, why didn't you kill Loki? Loki could have been just as, important to the team. Like, so yeah, it is a bit, plot convenient, I guess. But at the same time, I still enjoyed it. I still, after the 30 minutes, I wasn't like, oh, that was a waste of time. I was like, okay, that was good. That was interesting. I at least got to see, like we were saying before about Nick, like how he had to deal with all this shit, and how he goes through so much, with all the, he manages all these fucking guys.
Yeah.
Good on him. But yeah, that was probably the only interesting part, I guess.
Yep. So I think that's enough on episode 3. Let's move on to episode 4, which the more I think about it, the more it comes close. I can't actually tell whether or not I prefer this episode or the What If T'Challa was Star-Lord. Because
Star-Lord's better.
The second episode is fantastic, but I really do like this one. Because, so the what if in episode 4 is essentially, what if instead of Doctor Strange losing his hands, he lost his heart? What a fucking simp, alright? Jesus Christ, get over it.
Well, I did like that there was a version of him that, didn't go after it, and then... So, yeah, in the end, what's her name? Bald woman. Bald lady. The ancient one creates two...
Versions.
Realities. Realities.
It's now getting really confusing. So it's the way that it is now is, I think this is how it works. You have a universe, you have a universe which has one timeline, right? You have a universe that has one timeline, and then she creates two timelines in that one universe, right? And then you have these multiple universes, okay? So, and the reason it's confusing is because Loki showed it as being you had a timeline and then you had multiple timelines. But I think this is redoing it and saying no. You have universes that have their own timeline, and then what if you could have multiple timelines within one universe? Now, all of this makes no sense, right? But essentially, the Ancient One splits the timeline in two. So you have a Doctor Strange who essentially can't get over the fact that his girlfriend died and goes to find a way to save her life. And you have a version of Doctor Strange who just gets over it. Which is cool because the original Doctor Strange movie is good, but I think Doctor Strange becomes better in Infinity War. Because
100%.
The Russo brothers they know what they're doing with these characters. And the wizard fight in Infinity War is so cool.
Amazing. And sick as fuck.
And this episode kind of does a wizard war again with two versions of Doctor Strange fighting each other. And the imagery and stuff, it's really beautiful the way they represent the magic in that.
What I was about to say during that animation scene, it was very similar to the animation in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, especially with when things kind of go crazy with all the dimensions, during the end of the film, where there's this kind of
glitching.
It's a glitching, and there's this kind of to signify energy in this animated world. There's all these bubbles that are shooting across really fast. You saw that briefly during when they were fucking, shooting shit at each other.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I guess, obviously the same animation style, but it also was could be Spider-Verse, I
think they definitely took inspiration, I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah, but yeah. I just thought it was a cool little thing. But other than that, I did like that he tried really hard to get her back. He was like, right, we'll just have pizza. We fucking just won't go.
We're not going to drive. And then
We're
she
not
just
fucking
dies.
driving. And then she's like, all right.
Yes.
And then he doesn't even turn up as well, and she just dies.
And she
It's
just the building explodes. So this is even more confusing now. So okay, the way it works, the Ancient One says that this is a fixed point in time, that Doctor Strange saves the universe, right?
Yeah.
He has to go on to save the universe, and he only does that if he becomes Doctor Strange. He only becomes Doctor Strange if she dies, right? But it's kind of hard for us to understand that because we have a Doctor Strange in which she doesn't die, he loses his hands, right? So it's not a fixed point in time, but I figured it out, okay?
Okay.
What it is, okay, you need Stephen Strange to become Doctor Strange, okay? From his point of view and from the Ancient One's point of view, the only way to get from A to B is her dying, right? They're not aware that there could be other ways of him becoming Doctor Strange, i.e. him losing his hands. That would send him on the same journey, right? So that is why, from their perspective, she has to die, that's because in this version of events, that's the only way to them that he becomes Doctor Strange. Thank you.
I agree. I think that, she's like, well, and I understood that as well when he was going back to try save her. I was like, well, then wouldn't that undo you becoming Doctor Strange? Yeah. So, like, this would,
you get this paradox.
fuck things up.
But, and what I love about this episode as well, Doctor Strange is an arrogant character. That's who he is. And what's brilliant about it is that his character is fixated on, like, solving things. It's why he was such a good surgeon, right? He's like a problem solver times a million. And this is like a problem that he can't solve, and he wants to prove that he can do it. And he just has this drive to do anything at any cost to keep her alive. And I found that, like, that real, like, passion to save her life and the arrogance that came with it was super interesting. And it puts him into this dark place where he's, like, not even a good guy anymore. He's not even a hero. He's, like, absorbing all of these interdimensional beings and essentially killing them, or taking their energy at the very least. And he knows, like, deep down he knows that if this doesn't work, he's killing the entire fucking universe. He's destroying the whole universe to save this woman. And it's just brilliant that by telling these what-if stories, you can have a version of events where the universe just doesn't exist anymore.
It gets fucked up.
It's brilliant.
See, that's why I'd like to see more what-ifs based around Infinity War, Thanos if he did win, like, again, and stuff like that, like, or the first Avengers if Loki was, I don't know, goated on the sticks and it just kills them all. Like, that'd be sick, and I'd love to see more of Loki because fucking love him.
He's amazing.
Yes, so I would love to see more of those events, and because also you get to see the Avengers like losing and them having to deal with that, other than Infinity War. But
well, I'll give you a bit of a hint as to what's coming in the future. One of the episodes appears to be what if Civil War never happened. So that's pretty cool. So they're fighting Thanos potentially they're fighting Thanos for the first time together as a team.
Well, then they'd fucking win, wouldn't they?
We'll see. We'll have to tune in.
And then, so that'd be like just a what if it's like, okay, they win sooner. And then Thanos, like, is just... And then Thanos, like, Thor goes for the head.
Straight
instead
away.
Of,
what if Thor went for the head? That's a good what if.
You should have gone for the head. Shut up.
No, he goes for the head, and then and then Thanos just says, "I meant the other head."
You should have gone for the arm. He's like head's like on the floor, like decapitated, and his body just clicks. Maybe he should have actually just chopped off his hand. He should have gone for the gauntlet. Just chop off his arm.
Which is what they do in Endgame. The rest of his arm's fine. It's not covered by anything. Yeah. But yes, quickly, before we finish, I would like to say as well, this episode, I like how kind of dark it is. Like, it's probably the darkest MCU's gone. It's like this really like emotional story about losing someone, and it's just like the MCU really doesn't go that heavy on it, and like this episode ends with him destroying the universe, so it is a really dark episode, and I love that about it.
I felt so like sorry. I mean, like he was warned so many times, but at the same time, like the what if man came down and he's like, look at what you've done.
I find it so funny that
we do something.
Yeah, I know. I find it so funny that every week he's like, I must never intervene.
And he intervenes and he's like, I cannot do anything, but hello.
It's like, good luck, fuckers. It's like,
look at what you've done, you fuckwit.
I watched the whole thing. I've watched this whole thing, and I saw everything happen exactly as it did. I could have intervened, but I mustn't. It's just so funny. And we know 1 week he's probably going to intervene. They're setting it up so much like, he doesn't intervene, he doesn't intervene. Oh, guess what? In week 7, he intervenes. Like, he's going to intervene 1 week.
Yeah, he will. But I reckon it'll be very, very small. I reckon he'll make it so like it's what he does is very small, but it'll be significant in the future if that makes sense.
He'll he might nudge something into a specific direction.
Just give it a little, because I feel like he does that in the first place, like making these different realities.
Oh, he watches those different realities. He never intervenes.
Well, but like who's saying that he is?
Who comes up with the rules as to
if he's a good source? Exactly. Anyway. He does. He's coming up with all the rules.
Yeah.
He makes the rules.
You're a god. Well, I'm not a god. Yes, you are.
Who told you that you couldn't intervene? I did, because
Goodbye.
Is convenient to the plot. Bye.
I did like how Doctor Strange could sense him being there. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Like, there's a scene halfway through where he's like, is someone there? And then what if man floats away.
But yeah, no, at the end it was very sad how like she melted and he was just like crying and like, fuck no, I could do anything. I want to do like I want to make the universe.
Yeah, it's like I've realized now I've fucked up. Please, it's like the whole universe doesn't deserve to die because of my arrogance. And it's like, sorry, it's too late.
At least he said that. That's what counts. Yeah, I feel like yes, it took him long, but at least he realized. Exactly.
While Doctor Strange is an arrogant character, he's still deep down a good guy, and he can recognize when he's wrong,
and that's why he's lovable.
Yeah,
that's why he's lovable. And can we compare him to like Marvel, that Captain Marvel then? Because like
it's a different.
Doesn't really have any redeeming features, like, does she?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because the first movie didn't do a good job, and she doesn't really have much input in Endgame. So I do think I think there's a problem with that character. I think Marvel knows there's a problem with that character, and I hope that they fix it. What?
They need to get Taika Waititi to direct second Captain Marvel, and then she's lovable.
I can already confirm that that's not going to happen, so I'm very sorry to disappoint you, Lucas.
Fuck. I'm sick of this fucking universe.
No, you're not. You're going to tune in each week.
Of course. But yeah, no, wait. So then who's confirmed to direct the second Captain Marvel?
I don't know. So firstly, Captain Marvel 2 has had its name changed. So it used to be called Captain Marvel 2. It is now called The Marvels. Right? The Marvels. Because they're teaming her up with other characters like Miss Marvel and a character called Photon or Proton or something. Anyway, so it's going to be a team of Miss Marvels essentially, and I think they're doing that because in response to the first movie and its poor reception from fans. So anyway, so it's just I think they're trying to fix her character. If like the fact that this is the first time that they've rebranded. Like even Black Panther 2, right, which no longer has the titular Black Panther, is still called Black Panther and then followed by, subtitle, in that case, Wakanda Forever. Whereas this one, it's not even Captain Marvel anymore. Captain Marvel has completely been removed from it. Marvel has never done that before. So something had to have happened behind the scenes in regards to this character. But the director is called Nia DaCosta. She has what has she directed? I'll quickly get up.
Search up. Nia DeFar.
No, Nia DaCosta.
De Niro?
Yes.
Or DeFaro?
No, where's a... Okay, director. Okay.
Give them an offer they never refuse.
So, she hasn't directed a lot, but I don't know. I don't think I'm too familiar with her work. But anyway, we'll see with that one.
I would rather James Gunn or Taika Waititi or someone that's directed, a movie.
Well, I think
we've seen before.
We've seen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe the difference hiring a director with a vision versus just hiring a director to do the job. So, for example, I can't tell you who directed the second Thor. I have no clue. No clue. And it doesn't matter. But we all know who directed the third one. So, I think Marvel needs to do that more often and take chances with directors, especially since the Marvel Cinematic Universe is so like foundational at this point. Like it's like cemented, right? So you may as well start taking risks. Whereas DC, they take risks like there's no tomorrow, and they haven't even got any foundations. So
it's worked for them, but yeah.
Well, it kind of has. It's worked some of the time. But that's what it's like taking risks, though. Not every risk pays off, and I appreciate risk taking, especially when these blockbusters can get very samey.
Exactly, and I agree. I feel like if a risk doesn't pay off, then it's a fucking risk.
Yeah.
But I agree with you.
It's better having a big swing and a miss than just a little ding. That's like the bench warmers. That's like the bench warmers when he's like, I hit it. It dicked the bat. And it's like, you're still out. Well, you're still fat. Anyway. That's just, I love the bench warmers. I think it's a great little comedy.
It is a good movie. I love the rich guy in it.
Yeah.
This place must have cost $1 zillion. $2 zillion, actually.
And the guy that's clearly like 35 and it's like, I'm 12.
Yeah, exactly. Is that the one that wears a helmet all the time?
Yeah.
He's so good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So now let's move on. So that was our reviews of episode 3 and 4 of What If. We may do roundups every 2 episodes. I think that's kind of a neat way of doing it. So we'll catch up in 2 weeks' time. But now it is time. You've all been waiting for it, all right? We've been waiting so long for this movie. Firstly, it was a theatrical release that no one saw, and now it is released digitally, and I have no clue if anyone's seeing it now, but we saw it, and it's Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins, which, as a movie title, reminds me a lot of X-Men Origins Wolverine. Mm-hmm. Maybe stay away from that naming convention because it's just so dumb. It's so dumb.
Yeah. Well, what should they do instead? Should they like they did Logan? Should they go along those lines and just find a unique title for it?
Let's take Hobbs and Shaw as an example. Mm-hmm. That was just called Fast and Furious Hobbs and Shaw, but like the big bold writing was Hobbs and Shaw, right?
Yeah, that's true. In
the US, I think it was called Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw. That's dumb. You don't need presents in there. Get rid of it. That's a waste of a word.
Fast and I think fuck off.
Anyway, fast and fuck off. And similarly here, you don't need origins. Just say G.I. Joe Snake Eyes. That's all you need.
Snake Eyes.
Well, Snake Eyes would have been fine. But
Snake
they
Eyes,
need that.
honestly,
they need to say G.I. Joe, so it's like people who don't know Snake Eyes know at least
G.I. Joe presents Snake Eyes.
So, what do you think of this movie?
A lot of fucking things. I was like, Okay, first
It's a
okay,
weird
okay.
movie. It's
It's
a
a
weird
weird-
fucking movie, man.
It just goes from one thing to the other. He's like, I'm working for this guy. Now I'm at this guy's place. And then he's like, all right, I'm double crossing him. And you're like, oh, I'm actually a kid. Like, I'm a kid watching G.I. Joe, and I'm like,
yeah.
like
G.I.
I don't
Joe
fucking understand.
is a kid's property at heart. I mean, it's based on toys. It's designed to just sell toys. So, of course, this is a kid's movie, right? And
Yeah.
it's very clear it's a kid's movie, but it's just weird. It's just weird.
So weird.
So,
it's
if at the very least it feels like two different movies, because firstly, they're trying to make like a kind of a kid's version of a dark and gritty, you know, kind of like samurai type ninja character, right? Like it's like a lot of shaky cam action fights, taking on a million people, and I think it does that relatively well.
oh yeah,
Right? And I think all of his costumes and that, which we'll talk about later, I'm a bit annoyed about their costumes, but anyway, the costumes look nice, and the fight scenes work well, and the shaky cam hand, like it's supposed to be like kind of Jason Bourne-esque
Yeah.
fighting, but with
Fuck it. Oh,
a
it's so...
Japanese kind of influence. And
Yeah.
you know, it's fine, right? That aspect of the movie is all fine, but then they get into all this GI Joe shit that no one cares about, and it just slows the movie down. And I'm like, I don't care anymore.
It
Like,
drags it along. It's just
you
like
have, like you have it's just like you have half of the movie goes by, and he's just a ninja, and it's like a revenge story. It's simple. He's trying to play both sides, and he doesn't know who to trust, and that's brilliant. Well,
I like
it's
that,
not,
yeah.
It's not brilliant, but it's okay. It's good.
it's good.
And then halfway through the movie, they're like, oh, this person's a Joe, a G.I. Joe. They're the good guys, and they're fighting Cobra. What's Cobra? Well, Cobra is this organization that... And it's like, bro, what are you doing? Like,
We don't need to-
I
we
liked
already
the
know
first
this.
part of the movie. I don't like this part.
Well, speaking of the first half, okay, so you know where he is given a gun to shoot the guy, right?
Yes.
And so the main boss finds out he's a traitor. The guy that is on his knees.
Yeah.
So these guys are cousins, right? So they've seen each other before,
Yes.
because the guy that's on his knees about to get shot banished him, we find out, from their village because he's a fucking secret thing. So how did this guy infiltrate this operation, like knowing that if the boss man saw him, he would be like, wait a second, isn't that the guy that banished me? Like, you know, and is my sole purpose on this planet to get back at? Like, what was his expectation? I didn't understand
I'll
that.
be completely honest. I blacked out probably both times. I watched the movie twice. I watched it first time I fell asleep halfway through. Second time I watched it this morning, and because I'd already watched the first half of the movie, so I started the movie 12 o'clock last night with a few beers, alright? And I passed out halfway through. So like, it wasn't a great like state of mind to be in. So I have no clue what the story
You
is.
idiot!
And then,
You're an idiot. Well, I mean-
I rewatched it this morning, and I kind of skipped through the first half because I was like, I've already seen it. So I have no idea. I know what you're talking about. They've infiltrated. They're in like a fish market, and they're hiding guns and shit. Yes, and look, I think what the movie would say is, since it's for kids, they just need to get you from scene to scene. Essentially, it's just like, oh, he's betrayed. Okay, that's all you need, and now we're moving on.
Since
They
it's
don't
for
explain
kids,
it.
they should make it simple. Like, betrayal, shit. Like, that is, it's so simple to do that. There's not like, oh, he's just, luckily that he saved the right fucking guy. Like, you know,
But yes.
And then, fuck it.
But let's start at the very beginning, right? Because so Snake Eyes, he gets his name from this murderer who. So we learn that his dad was murdered because he was a GI Joe. Oh, what a surprise! And he was murdered by Cobra. Oh, I was like, come on, man. Like maybe a child wouldn't see that coming, but it's fairly obvious that that's what it is from the get go.
Yeah.
Anyway, he gets killed by this guy, and this guy essentially is a shitty version of Two-Face, right? Instead of having a coin and flipping a coin and it's saying you'll live or die based on the coin. It's he rolls a dice, and if it's snake eyes, you die. And it's like, of course, the dice is weighted.
See,
so
yeah,
that it's
like
always...
with that, there are options as well. So like, yes, there's snake eyes till you die, but like, I mean, yes, he was if he got 6 or something, he was obviously going to roll against you, right? So that like, the coin works.
It's not clear what the alternative is when you're rolling the dice. Now, of course, it doesn't matter. Of course, it doesn't matter. I know.
Like, how is a kid supposed to know what fucking game they're playing if you roll 2 dice? Like, a kid knows, right, you got a 50-cent coin. Yeah, you know, you got a coin, there's 2 sides. One side is you're fucked, the other's you go free. Whereas dice, it's like, there are 12 fucking options. Well, there are many options. There are, like, many numbers you can get.
Yeah.
Like, how are you supposed to deter which one's death and which one's life and which one is, you know...
And I find it funny that he's called himself Snake Eyes because of that incident. But that's probably happened to a million other kids. I mean, this guy does this regularly. What if there's another guy that has the exact same idea and is like, I'm gonna call myself Snake Eyes, and it's like, oh, there are 2 Snake Eyes. Oh no.
But it's also not significant enough because it didn't happen to the kid, it happened to his father.
Exactly.
How would he take that away from, like, how would he see that and be like, that's my name now?
I know. And
Snake Eyes killed my father.
It's weird. Why would you want to name yourself after what killed your dad? Like, it's one of those cases where, for some reason, Hollywood loves to explain how someone got their name. I don't know why it matters. Just, they've got the name and move on. But a great example is Han Solo, right? You think it's just his name. It should just be his name. His name should just be first name Han, second name Solo. But then
what are your people?
Exactly.
Oh, I'm by myself.
No, I'm no one. Okay.
Oh, so then you're Han no people then. And I hated that. I was expecting so much from that. Oh yeah, nothing, as they just say. Oh, his name's just Han Solo. Like, and his name's not famous as well. It's how he became the character.
Yeah.
You know?
No,
like,
exactly. So just stop explaining names. Just, it doesn't matter. No one cares, okay? Just he's Snake Eyes. Move on.
Han no people.
Oh, jeez.
Fuck you.
The fly just hit me.
Oh,
anyway.
shit.
I'm all good. Don't worry, guys. I took a bullet for you. Anyway. So, the other thing I noticed with this movie as well is that we haven't really talked about color grading much on this podcast before. So, we're going to get a bit technical, guys. Color grading is just like the color of each frame, right? It's just, you know, some movies are really poppy and they're vibrant and they've got a bunch of colors. Others are more muted and you know, dull. And some movies maybe look more blue and others may look more yellow.
So, like, 50 Shades of Grey would be grey.
I don't...
With a little touch of pink. And then Thor Ragnarok would be...
every
colours.
color.
Every colour.
Yes. Yeah. I think you're slowly figuring it out.
Yeah.
Anyway, in this movie, it just, from scene to scene, the color grading just changes. At one moment, the movie's entirely green. Like, the start of the movie, it just looks very green. Like, when he's in the fish market and everything. It's just really green. I don't know why. It's very ugly looking. And then when they go outside, now everything's blue. And then when they get to Tokyo, everything's yellow. And
Were you watching the first half of the film through a beer? Like, just be like...
Maybe, actually. You know what? I don't remember a lot. So, that could be why.
Why is everything green? You're just passed out in your bed like...
Yeah. It's how, I just don't realise I'm looking through the bottle.
Yeah. No wonder you blacked out. You're fucking like, I can't...
I was paraplegic at that point.
Oh.
But yeah.
I mean, this is the only way us, like... dare I say, adults can watch a film.
Yeah, can stomach this
like
movie.
Yeah, I swear we should honestly. I wish we watched the first one and this one, because the first one I remember being like like to the point. You know, they get fucking ambushed and then they get inducted into GI Joe.
That's kind of the thing. Like the GI Joe is such a ridiculous franchise. It's such a ridiculous property. Like. All of the characters are so over the top. Like in one of them, fucking the Eiffel Tower explodes or whatever, or disintegrates.
Yeah,
and then I think and then I think in the second one, the whole of London explodes.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah. They
So
drop a
this is like
nuke
a
from space.
big bombastic franchise for kids. And then this movie just is weird in comparison because it's still like all of the characters that are really outlandish. And like there's a giant weird fucking snake, and there's also this red stone gem thing that kills people. And it's really weird. It feels very out of it just doesn't make sense with the movie because the start of the movie is really grounded.
So grounded, yeah, it is grounded. It's like,
And then suddenly
murder.
there's a giant fucking snake. And I'm like, what am I looking at?
That came out of nowhere when I was like, all right, what's the final test? I'm very excited. Because, okay, let's talk about the tests as well.
Yeah.
First test, understandable. Like, it makes sense.
Is it don't
You have to
spill
think-
water?
No, yeah, and he asks, he's like, so there's two, there's him and the fucking master. And he's like, you have to get my bowl of water. They're both holding bowls of water. And he's like, you can't spill your bowl of water, but you have to get mine. And so he tries to like fucking hit it out of him so he can grab it or some shit. And he's given 4 tries. And then on the 4th try, he's like, can I please have your bowl of water in exchange for mine? And they exchange. And everyone's like, you did it. And it's like, how does this teach you anything? Just how to ask for a bowl. So yeah, but I did strangely like that. I was like, that's thinking out of the box, I guess. Second challenge, no fucking idea what they did. It's like a dream sequence.
Oh, that's when he was drugged. Well, I think
Yeah.
he was drugged, but
Yeah, by the blind master, who I thought was badass. I really liked. He was the only person I liked in the entire film.
yeah.
And I wish was actually Snake Eyes. He was fucking huge black man that was blind and, you know.
We may as well just quickly talk about the actors in the movie. So Henry, I think his name's Henry Golding. He's a good actor. He just doesn't give a good performance in this movie.
No,
and
he doesn't.
he's English, and in this movie he's trying his best to do an American accent, and just I don't think like it's very good. It's very inconsistent. Sometimes he does sound very British. And it's sad because like this is his chance to lead a movie. He's never really been a leading actor. And he kind of fumbles it, but I think it's okay because no one's seen this movie, so it probably won't affect his career. But it's just unfortunate because he is a good actor. And I don't know, have you ever seen The Gentleman?
No.
So that came out at the start of last year. It's a Guy Ritchie movie. And he plays like a bad guy. He plays like a gangster in it. And he's fantastic. He's great in it. He's
Of course I've seen The Gentleman. Yeah. He plays the guy that fucking... Yeah, no, he's actually really good in it. Holy shit.
Yes. And he's also in Crazy Rich Asians, and he's great in that too. But can I quickly just do a tangent on The Gentleman real quick?
Of course, yes.
Because I don't think I'm ever going to get the opportunity to do this again.
Can we talk about, well, first of all, what's his name? Did you like the soundtrack as well? Like,
Of the Gentleman?
The Gentleman? Yeah.
I think so. I can't really remember the soundtrack.
It's pretty good. Like the scene where there's Tom Hardy with the MP5 and he's like, right, we're all fucking top gangsters now, and he fucking pulls it out and it's just that like, it's like Wu-Tang Clan.
Are you sure that's Tom Hardy? I thought that was Charlie something. Charlie Hunnam or something.
No, it's Tom Hardy that pulls out the fucking MP5 and he's like, oh no, it is Charlie. I'm an idiot. Yes, it is Charlie.
On, mate. Come on.
I'm an idiot.
Okay, let me just quickly get into my rant. So, I think it's a pretty okay Guy Ritchie movie. I think it's not one of his worst. It's good. It's just not one of his best.
Wrath of Man is his worst.
I thought that was okay. His worst movie is by far King Arthur. But anyway, I think his best is The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Sue me, all right? That is a good fucking movie.
Agree.
It's
I
better
agree.
than Sherlock Holmes.
I showed it.
Yeah, fucked.
I showed it to my friends and they're like, "This is terrible. It's just one-liners. Every sentence was
I think
a
that
one-liner."
movie
I was like,
really misunderstood.
I really liked it. I really liked the contrast between Henry Cavill's character and the Russian dude. Like how they
Armie
were
Hammer.
both.
Ooh,
Yeah, exactly.
Armie Hammer. Do you know what happened with him?
No.
He's
Is he a pedophile? Has he sexually assaulted someone? For fuck's sake.
he has, but it's weirder. He's in his own words, and I'm going to do my best Army Hammer impression now. He's 100% a cannibal. I'm not fucking joking.
Why? Why are these people so fucked up? Like, but does acting actually make you insane? Like,
I don't know.
Does it give you
There
like
might
the
be
power,
something
like,
about it. Yeah.
I'm eating other people now? Like,
I think it's I think there's probably an ego, and that attracts like a certain kind of person. But anyway, we're really off topic. We're really off topic. All right, Army Hammer. Army Hammer's a cannibal. Okay, let me get back to my quick rant about The Gentleman. Okay, the end of The Gentleman. Right. So some movies do what's called a ticking time bomb, essentially, where you have some event. Like, it can be quite literal and be an actual bomb. So say in The Dark Knight Rises, there's the bomb, it's counting down. But other times it's more like it could be any sort of event that you know is going to happen in the future, and you're racing against the clock to try to prevent that from happening, right? Very simple premise. And it's a great way of building tension. In The Gentleman, that thing is that Henry Golding's character is going to rape Matthew McConaughey's wife. And it's just like, why is this what you decide to make the... It's bad enough. It's bad enough doing the damsel in distress. And then you have to go further and say, no, she's going to get raped. Matthew McConaughey, if you don't make it in time, your wife's going to get raped. Why? It is just so unnecessary. Okay, that was my rant. Thank you. We can get back on topic now.
I kind of I agree that this entire time, like, that's all he wanted to do. But I mean, it was for status, I guess. Like, he's like, I'm gonna fucking show you. But then, like, he just comes in and shoots him.
Yeah.
Like, he literally, oh no, he's like got his dick out. Like, what is he? Oh, Matthew McConaughey's here. What is he gonna do? Matthew McConaughey's just like, bang.
Yeah, the wife is like bent over on the desk, and Henry Golding's about to get his cock out, and then Matthew McConaughey just shoots him. It's just... Anyway.
I would have liked an end boss battle. I would have liked a shootout of some kind, or something or other, you know, like, instead of like just bang. I did like how she had the tiny gun though, and she like shot the dudes, and they were like
yeah, they try their best to still make her a proper character, even though some weird shit happens.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the movie we'd much rather talk about, which is Snake Eyes. Anyway, Henry Golding does a pretty bad job, and he is a good actor. I think he deserves a second chance in another leading role. Mm-hmm. That's the end of Henry Golding.
Yep. And what else do we... What are your notes on fucking...
It's pretty incoherent. I've got to be honest. I just gets to a point where I say G.I. Joe sucks. It's too ridiculous. I hate the Baroness's glasses.
Yeah, I did not like them as well.
It's just something about, like, just making like glasses look like that. I don't know what it is. It's infuriating.
Not like that. But they were like, they're like this 80s kind of like the spiky.
I'm
actually going to get the name of them up. Like 80s glasses.
Okay. Yeah, I figured out what we'll talk about. There's two things I think we should talk about.
They're not the right ones, but yeah. Yes. But yeah.
Well, quickly, I want to make one quick comment. So there's a point. Okay, firstly, all of the different people in this movie, all of the different sides they start fighting for the same team, essentially. Because they've got a common goal. And it's like, you don't need the Baroness. Like, she doesn't do anything. She can fuck off. You've got this by yourself.
I love how they also have guns and they're just shooting people with, like, no guns.
Yeah.
Like, they're just like, I could end this entire fight with, like, an AK or something, you know? If someone had a sniper, bro, they would be
Except,
like...
You know what beats a sniper? You know what beats a sniper? a red glowing
crystal
rock.
to go.
Yeah, and then the first time he does it as well, he's like,
no, he's like, oi, I fucking hate you. Come over here.
yeah,
Dead. You're fucking dead. Like, and he just turns this cunt to fire. Not dust. He just bursts into flames and he's gone. Every molecule of this man is just gone. And then he's like, haha, that's real power now. And
exactly. And then he becomes the main bad guy for no reason. And it's just like every character in this movie just fucking sucks and is like barely a character. Like the second the G.I. Joe woman's introduced and the Baroness is introduced, they're fuck all characters.
You don't care about them. They're just like...
No, it's so annoying.
People that are... You see scenes of them where they're just shooting people and it's like... Wow.
At the end of the movie, the G.I. Joe woman's like lecturing Snake Eyes about like, oh, you've got a responsibility to be a good man. And it's like, fuck off, I don't even know who you are. All right? I don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
Anyway, my quick comment on it was there's a shot where they're all lined up, about to take on fucking Fireman, and the old woman throws a smoke screen down, and they just all know to disappear in that exact moment. Like, oh yeah, we're all on the same page, guys. We're gonna throw this fucking bomb down, and we're gonna run. All right? Like, come on.
And the idea to defeat him was like, yeah, make him shoot a bunch of explosives. Smart, done before. I would have liked if, I don't know, they did something else. Like, fucking, who's writing the script and be like, oh, we'll get him to blow something up that's explosive so he blows up. I mean, I am a kid, but come on. Come on.
I know.
Come on. Come on. Please.
Now, here's the thing I'm probably most annoyed about.
Wow.
Snake Eyes.
There's another.
This is the most, right? Snake Eyes. Yeah. This made me angry in my drunken,
what the fuck?
And that is, right? What is... Okay, if I was going to ask you, what is Snake Eyes' most defining feature? What would you say?
The vow of silence. And how we never see his face.
Close. Yes, the second one, right?
Yeah.
His costume, all right?
Yes. Okay. You were.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to lead you into it. We're not on the same wavelength, but it's all right. We're there.
I'm dumb. I'm fucking because I haven't seen G.I. Joe for ages, so I thought he was the other character. The who's Snake Eyes is.
No, he's in this movie too. So the guy dressed in all black is Snake Eyes, and then the guy dressed in all white is Stormfront. No, Storm. No, fuck. Storm.
Storm cunt.
Storm shit. Storm cunt is Storm cunt. All right. No, his name's Storm Shadow.
Oh yeah, like that's any better.
Well, firstly, Shadow Storm sounds better. But
yeah,
fucking bro.
That's like Storm. Was it Stormfront from The Boys? I think it is.
Yes, from The Boys.
Yeah. See, that's better. That's a better fucking name. Not Storm Shadow. I mean, it is a kids' movie, so we're actually insane for really giving a shit. But I literally thought it was Storm Shadow the entire movie. I was like, yeah, this is the guy on Cobra's side, because I was hearing more of Cobra, and he was on the bad team, and I was like,
I can see, yeah. And that's probably the most annoying thing about the movie is Snake Eyes gets his costume right at the end of the fucking movie. He should get it like halfway through. That's why, that's the defining thing of this character is his sick costume. It's what we want to see. We want to see Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes isn't just some guy. It's some guy in a ninja costume. And we never see the ninja costume. It's just, he's just in a motorcycle helmet and a motorcycle suit the entire movie. Put him in his stupid ninja costume.
Please, do it!
Because this movie, what's so sad? This movie's, it's not sad. This movie's definitely not getting a sequel. And we will never see that sick costume again, apart from the 30 seconds. And, okay, you know what fucking pisses me off? The exact same thing happened in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And that is, don't show the final shot of your movie in the trailer, okay?
Yeah.
For God's sake, please stop doing that. They even showed the after credits scene. They even showed the after credits scene in the trailer. Why? That makes no sense. Leave something if the whole movie is him not in his costume, right? I get you. See, this is okay. I'm getting frustrated now. Yeah. This is what doesn't make sense. The marketing team knew that his defining feature was his costume, but somehow the people making the movie didn't know that. So he's not in his costume for 90% of the movie, and then the marketing team's like, well, there's 30 seconds of his costume, but you got to put it in the trailer because that's his
all of it
thing.
All of it. But see, remember when I was talking about how I don't watch trailers? So this expectation in my mind wasn't, blown out of proportion. See, people, come on.
Oh, yeah.
People, if you listen to me now, don't watch trailers of movies that you care about. If you know it's going to be good, or if you know it's going to be shit, or if you know it's going to be average, just don't watch the trailer. If you don't want to spoil... Yeah. That's the entire reason why I didn't watch Wonder Woman 1984, because I watched a 2-minute trailer that showed every single thing that I want to know about that film. It's like, I knew what she did, I knew who the bad guy was, I knew the bad guy turned into a fucking leopard or cheetah. Some shit. Yeah, cheetah. See, I knew that from the trailer. I'm like, okay, that's the big reveal. I'm not going to watch that movie because I've already seen what Wonder Woman can do. She can fucking punch people. And yeah, that's like, I don't see any other, like, I didn't see any value. But yeah, final thoughts on Snake Eyes.
Final thoughts. I just want to wrap up by saying this movie is incredibly generic. It opens with a flashback scene telling you how he got his name and how his parents died and that made him want to become the Snake Eyes. And then it transitions from that into a cell fight, which I don't know if you ever saw Mortal Kombat from the start of this year, but it's the exact same opening as Mortal Kombat. And it's such a generic thing, having a character go into a cage fight because they fight things and it's just like, fuck off. And then it's just like this generic revenge story and he's caught into both sides of the good guys and the bad guys throughout. And then they just have generic fight scenes and generic everything. Everything's generic. It's just generic. It's just generic.
Yeah, it reminds me of, in South Park, talking about who's the guy that directed Transformers? Michael Bay.
Michael Bay.
Yeah, when they got him in one, I think it was season 4 or something, like Imagination Land. And they got him in and they're like, how do we defeat these cunts? And he's like, all right, picture this, 18-wheeler flips and explodes, you go book pow, and it's just like, he just went on and on about how all these fucking things explode. And it's just like, this is so true. People just keep reusing the same shit, expecting the audience to be like, I've never seen that before. Did you see, what's that Netflix movie that came out with Ryan Reynolds where he was an assassin?
Oh my god.
And it was directed by Michael.
Oh my god. I didn't get past 10 minutes of that movie.
The same! Oh my god, I watched the first 10 minutes and I was like, I'm not watching the rest of this film. And that's the first time. That's the first time that's ever happened to me. Where I was just watch the first 10 minutes and I was like, I'm not going to watch this.
Unwatchable. Unwatchable.
It's terrible.
It was called Six Underground.
Yeah,
and
that's
what's annoying about that is I think I could watch Ryan Reynolds for days, right?
The actors were good. It had James Franco's little brother, whatever his name is.
Yeah, can't remember.
Chick from French chick. Good actors. Good actors. It had good actors. I was excited to see the first scene because it's a sick car chase, cool cars, but he's just that when there was a slow-mo version of watch out for the dogs, and these little pugs were slow-mo running across the street. I was like, I'm turning this off. I don't I was trying to compare it to 47 Ronin, if you've seen that, where there was that amazing. Are you fucking kidding me?
I've got to watch that then.
Yes, Robert De Niro, fucking amazing, and the guy from fucking. Oh, I love knowing actors' names.
Okay,
but yeah.
so just if you're watching this podcast, just understand, right? Lucas just doesn't know anyone's names. Okay, just accept it now. Otherwise, it's gonna get really frustrating.
I don't even know who I'm talking to. You know, I just turn up every week to this blonde guy. He's like, "Hey, you ready to do a podcast?" And I go, "Who are you? Please help! I don't know what the fuck you want." And he's like, "Fucking do it, you shithead!"
Yes.
And yeah,
I torture Lucas.
you torture me, even though we're on a fucking Discord, and
Yeah.
I mean, like you can't harm me, but that's besides the point.
Let me just get this right. In conclusion, Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe presents the origins of Snake Eyes.
It's shit.
Yes.
It's bad.
Good.
But
It's for kids.
it's for kids. And Budget Brothers episode number 10.
Budget Brothers.
Here we go.
Oh, fuck, I dropped my ear.
I found out the budget for this film, and it's actually not too bad. It was 80 to 110 million speculated.
Okay. So picture this, right? You're Paramount, right?
Excuse me.
And you see Disney with Marvel and they're killing it. You see Warner Brothers with DC and sometimes they're killing it. And you're like, what do I have that is similar to superheroes? Oh, G.I. Joe. How about let's try to create a cinematic universe with our G.I. Joe characters, starting with Snake Eyes. We'll give it $100 million budget. If this came out under normal circumstances, how much money do you reckon it would have made?
60, 70 million, maybe.
So you don't think it would have made its money back either way?
No. Oh, fuck. I don't know, actually, maybe.
Can we quickly get the box office?
It
for
made 37 million box office. Yeah, box office,
Yes,
37 million.
So wait. The box office for Snake Eyes, in conclusion, in totality, 37 million. That's worse than I thought. That's nothing. That's not even.
I earned that in a week.
Fucking this podcast earns that in a week.
Yeah, bro. Like, fuck. That's nothing. That is no money
that's fuck
whatsoever. But yeah. It was not a good film.
So $100 million budget and it made 37 million. I think it's safe to say all of you G.I. Joe fans out there
Can get GI fucked.
it's going to be a little while until you see another G.I. Joe on the big screen. That's all I'm going to say.
GI, no.
Oh no. I just imagine some poor kid playing with his G.I. Joe action figure and he's like, what?
Yeah. No more GI Joe. You need to get GI fucked. But yeah, that's unfortunate. But let's move on to our fun facts about GI Joe because we love it so much and want to know more.
We're massive G.I. Joe fans. We know everything about your favorite characters, Snake Eyes and Storm Cunt. Like, this is it.
Shut up. How dare you? How dare you? He was a good...
Lucas, what was his character's name in this movie? Tell me what his character's name was. If it wasn't Storm Cunt, then what was it?
Snake Cock. Wait, wasn't it?
Actually...
Fuck, I can't remember. Alright, let's get on to these fucking facts. Alright, here we go. Are you ready? First fact.
Yeah.
This is actually quite interesting. So, G.I. Joe owes its existence to Barbie.
Why?
I'll tell you why. So in 1963, toy creator Stan Weston, we all know him, thought that since Barbie was so popular,
I love him.
he could come up with a similar toy for boys. A line of Barbie-sized dolls with military theme to be marketed for boys. Yes, because... Well, yeah, fuck. I mean, yeah, military theme for boys. House and everything else were like pink stuff.
women,
for girls.
pink women, pink girls get pink and get princesses and girly shit. Guys get guns and military.
Yeah. Because we want to fucking kill, yeah.
Let's go.
Fuck yeah. Which makes complete sense because we are
Yes.
greedy pieces of shit.
We're raging sexists. We believe in gender norms.
Fucking hate women.
Oh no! Just clarification there, please. Please, just some clarification.
I'm obviously joking.
We're being satirical.
That's like I'm obviously joking. It's just obvious. Well, this is the 60s. All right, this is the 60s when they're like
It was
what's
acceptable
popular?
back then.
It was and it shouldn't have been because that's disgusting. But yeah, so marketer for boys, he brought the concept to toy manufacturer Hassan Brothers, who later shortened the name to Hasbro, as we all fucking know and love.
Good idea there. Good idea there.
3 prototypes were created: Rocky the Marine, Skip the Sailor, and Ace the Pilot. Okay, yeah, that's...
So, when was Storm Cunt created?
Storm Cunt was created. It doesn't actually say. But yeah, do we know what GI stands for?
Good idiots, Joe. Good idiots, Joe.
Fuck
Good
you,
idiots,
GI. No, it's government issue.
What does Joe mean? Government issued Joe?
Well, hopefully this...
He's your
facts.
government issued Joe.
Wait, so yeah, so the name G.I. Joe itself came from the 1945 American war film called The Story of G.I. Joe, starring Ernie Pyle, who we all know and love, and Robert Mitchum. It looks like Mitch Cum, but it's Mitchum, who we all know and love. 4 original G.I. Joe action figures released in 1964, plus the Black Soldier, who followed in 1965.
Was the Black Soldier, did that become Snake Eyes? Or was it just like an African American guy?
I think it just was
and
an
they just
African
named
American
him.
Yeah. Okay. World's first action figure. Because they thought the boys would play with dolls, Hasbro coined the words action figure. I see. So they actually innovated on dolls for boys, making the action figure. Interesting. See. What else?
Because guys love action,
Yeah.
not dolls.
In 1967, Hasbro introduced its first female Joe, GI Nurse Action Girl. It was a spectacular failure and is now one of the world's most sought-after collectible. Oh, Jesus. It's worth $6,000 today, a GI Nurse Action Girl.
See? Women do get paid more, all right?
Yeah. Okay, interesting. Wow. All right, here we go. So, number 9, fact here. Bullet Man, the weirdest G.I. Joe ever.
Bro,
From Played Stallions.
what are these names?
Yeah, I know. Which have a lot more fun with G.I. Joe catalogue. Fuck. In 1976, to compete with the superhero toy craze, Hasbro added a superhero to its G.I. Joe line called Bullet Man, or the Human Bullet. Collectors didn't like it then. But given its rarity, Bullet Man is now highly valued. I don't give a fuck if this Bullet Man is worth an arm and a leg today. Like, Jesus Christ. That's
okay.
it. That's all there is. What are the comments? Let's
Okay.
have a look. I had Bullet Man as a
I'll
kid.
give you...
He went missing, though. I suspect my sister was using him for something.
Why is this everyone associated with G.I. Joe sexist? Like, I just don't get it.
No, did you read? No, listen to this. Who
commented this? Who commented this?
This is Wolfgang von Zubaz on the 30th of April 2010. I had Bullet Man as a kid. He went missing though. I suspect my sister was using him for something.
Thanks.
What could it be? Okay, here.
Can I give a fun fact?
Yes, you can give a fun fact. Here we go.
So, Cobra Commander, he's the bad guy, right? Head of the Cobra Commander. His original look is essentially just a KKK member, And when they decided to, make those original movies, they were like, maybe let's not give him a white hood. Maybe that's a bad idea.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know how I feel about it. But
Oh,
it's not
yeah.
great.
That's fucked. That is so bad. That is terrible. Oh, my God.
Just quickly search Cobra Commander KKK.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, he wears a blue hood, I think, but it still looks very...
All right. Wait. I'm looking more at the comments. There's just an argument about this guy saying GI stands for General Infantry, and this cunt going, no, it doesn't. Stands for government issue, you fuck. And yeah, they're all just having a brawl. I have a GI nurse, Joe nurse. I'm looking to sell. She has no outfit, but has some accessories. Okay, I'm not reading any more of this. All right. Well, what else do we have to talk about? Nothing really.
Shang-Chi came out this week. We couldn't watch it because it's theatrical only. We will review it in approximately 45 days when it comes out on Disney+.
Yes.
I just want to note that we would support this movie if we could, but we physically cannot go to the movie theater.
We can't.
So that is why, and we're not going to pirate it because that's illegal, and also there's not a good version of it online. So we'll talk about it in a month's time. We'll get around to it. But next week, what are we talking about? Let me quickly look. I think I forgot. Also, I forgot to say, Camila Cabello is in a version of Cinderella that came out on Friday. Wow.
Should we watch it?
No.
I think
No, I would rather not. No, next week we're doing a horror movie. Ooh, spooky. Wow. Spooky. We're doing Spook. So if you're all aware, right, a Conjuring movie came out start of this year, Conjuring 3, and I was confused. I was like, why did critically acclaimed director James Wan, why did he not return? I was like, is he working on too many Aquaman movies? Like, what's going on? Why didn't he return? Turns out he actually directed a different horror movie. That horror movie is called Malignant, and we're going to watch it next week and review it on the podcast. Releases next Friday.
That's going to
Should be good fun.
Because he's an amazing director. He is amazing. He's
So
the
first,
goat.
Not only did he kill it by creating the Insidious franchise, he then did it again and created the Conjuring franchise.
fucking did it again.
The Conjuring has a cinematic universe.
Fucking just did it again. But yeah, we'll look more into that. Should be good.
You went from 11 to a 1 just then. It was crazy.
Is there anything wrong with that? Is there anything fucking wrong with that? Okay, like, you need to understand that.
Also, I did check in on whether Here's All That has had a sequel confirmed. As of yet, no sequel.
Thank fuck.
Okay, so you don't have to eat your hat yet, but we will keep checking in week to week.
I might have to buy a new hat because I don't want to eat my other hat because I really like it. But I think that's it. I think
That is it this week. So
that is it.
So please, if you've enjoyed this fantastic episode, then follow us, like us, comment, subscribe, do everything you possibly can. Also, follow us on social media. We post clips quite regularly, and the last one did quite well. Us talking shit on Addison Rae, people seem to enjoy. So please follow us. It's at APodNow on Instagram and TikTok, and then a podcast now on Facebook. So that is us signing off for the week. We'll catch you next week when we talk about Malignant. Thank you very much.
I love you. Bye-bye.
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 Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
No, bye-bye. I'm sorry.
No, that's enough. That's enough.
That's
Okay,
enough.
kill it.